common phobias and how they... Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you stopped by today because we're going on a little journey into something that's part science, part mystery, and 100% relatable. We're talking about phobias, those intense, sometimes baffling fears that hit us out of nowhere and make everyday things feel like epic battles. Maybe you freeze when you see a spider, or maybe just the thought of public speaking makes you break out in a sweat. Whatever your fear, you're in good company. And today, we're breaking down why these fears exist, how they sneak into our minds, and what you can do to tackle them head on. So, stick around for some fascinating insights and a few laughs along the way. But before we get into it, do me a favor and hit that like button if you've ever found yourself irrationally scared of something that others just don't get. No shame here. Fears are part of being human. And don't forget to subscribe to Adzakaprat for more brainy, fun, and sometimes surprising videos about how our minds work. All right, so let's start with the basics. What is a phobia anyway? It's more than just a simple fear. A phobia is an overwhelming, persistent, and often irrational fear of a specific thing. It could be an animal, a place, or even a situation. Your brain understands logically there's no real danger, but your body doesn't get the memo and immediately hits the panic button. Suddenly, your heart is pounding like a drum, your palms are sweating, and you just want to get out of there as fast as possible. It's like your internal alarm system is blaring at full volume for something that doesn't really warrant it. And here's the kicker. Phobias are surprisingly common. Around 1 in 10 people have a specific phobia during their life, which means tons of us are quietly dealing with fears that can be pretty disruptive. Now, let's take a look at some of the most common phobias, and I promise they're way more relatable than you might think. You might recognize some of these from your own experience or from friends and family. Starting with arachnophobia, the fear of spiders. And I don't just mean the big scary ones. Even the tiny house spiders can cause a meltdown. Then there's acrophobia, or fear of heights. Whether it's a tall building, a ladder, or even just looking out the window, this one can give you dizzy spells and a racing heart. Moving on, claustrophobia is a fear of tight, enclosed spaces. Elevators, tunnels, small rooms, all of these can trigger serious anxiety. If you ever felt trapped or panicked in a small space, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Another biggie is aerophobia, or fear of flying. Despite planes being super safe, a lot of people find themselves white-knuckling the armrest during takeoff. And let's not forget about social phobia or social anxiety, the fear of being judged or embarrassed in public situations. This one is more than just being shy. It can be downright paralyzing, making simple things like ordering coffee feel like a huge challenge. Then there's trypanophobia, the fear of needles. With all the injections and blood draws we face, this phobia can make a visit to the doctor stressful for many. Also worth mentioning is mysophobia, or fear of germs, which has become especially common in recent years. And some of the more unusual phobias include coulrophobia, fear of clowns, thalassophobia, fear of deep water, and the mind-boggling phobophobia, the fear of developing phobias themselves. Yeah, that one's a real head-scratcher. So, how do these phobias develop? Why does one person freeze in the presence of a spider, while someone else can handle them with zero issues? It's a complex mix of personal experience, learned behavior, and biology, all wrapped up in how our brains process fear. Often, phobias start from a personal traumatic experience. For example, if you got stuck in a cramped space as a kid or had a nasty dog bite, your brain might have marked that situation as dangerous and kept that memory on high alert to protect you in the future. Sometimes it's not even a direct experience. It can be observational learning, watching someone else freak out around spiders or hearing a scary story about flying. Our brains are pretty good at picking up on those signals, even if we don't fully understand why. Biology also plays a huge role. Some people are simply more prone to anxiety and heightened fear responses because of their genes or the way their brain is wired. The amygdala, a small part of the brain that acts like our emotional radar, often goes into overdrive, signaling danger even when there's none. Evolution also explains some phobias. Fear of heights, snakes, or the dark probably helped keep our ancestors alive, so it's natural that these fears get passed down. But when does a fear turn into a phobia that affects your life? If you find yourself avoiding places, situations, or activities because of fear, and it causes you distress or interferes with your daily routine, then it might be time to address it. The good news? Phobias are treatable, and there are lots of ways to manage and overcome them. One of the most effective methods is exposure therapy. It sounds scary, but it's actually a gradual process where you're gently and safely exposed to the source of your fear until your brain learns it's not actually dangerous. No jumping into a snake pit or forced skydiving. It's slow, steady, and super controlled. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is another powerful tool. This therapy helps you identify and challenge irrational thoughts that fuel your fear and replace them with more realistic perspectives. For example, instead of telling yourself, if I speak in public, I'll embarrass myself, CBT guides you to think, I might be nervous, but I can handle this. Sometimes medication can help reduce anxiety symptoms, especially during therapy, but it's usually a short-term aid rather than a permanent fix. Alongside therapy, relaxation techniques like mindfulness, breathing exercises, and grounding can calm the nervous system when fear strikes. And above all, talk about it. Phobias can feel isolating, but opening up helps you realize you're far from alone. Many people are battling the same fears, and sharing your experience can be the first step toward healing. So, that's our deep dive into the fascinating world of common phobias and how they develop. If you found this video helpful or interesting, please hit the like button. And if you have a phobia or a story about how you've dealt with fear, share it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe to Zachaprat for more videos exploring the amazing quirks of the human mind. Hit the bell so you don't miss out on future content. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and maybe glance under your bed tonight, just to be safe. Thanks for watching.